You may have heard that South Korea and the US plan to scale back a large joint military drill that takes place every spring, after several other exercises were suspended altogether this year, including air drills scheduled for next month. We're left asking why, and what difference will it make? I'm Alex Jensen, addressing those questions for Korea Now's K-News Today. Just to recap briefly, American Defense Secretary Jim Mattis was speaking to reporters at the Pentagon recently when he said the springtime Fall Eagle exercise will be reduced and reorganized to avoid harming diplomacy with North Korea over its denuclearization. Quite a bit to unpack there, starting with the nature of these joint military exercises. South Korea and the US have been holding joint military drills on this peninsula for years, in keeping with the state of war with the North that's officially persisted for decades. These exercises can bring together thousands of troops from both sides and some of the most powerful military hardware known to mankind. The Allies insist they are defensive. The problem is North Korea views them as preparations for an invasion. We've seen a seasonal cycle in recent years in which tensions mount around the Allies' joint drills, even taking us to the perceived fear of nuclear war. Common sense, along with leading experts, would tell us the North is unlikely to attack unless it feels the US or some outside power is going to do so. But military officials also value exercises as a means to stay ready in case a conflict does really break out again. General Robert Brown, head of the US Army Pacific Command, offered a sports comparison this week. If you don't exercise, it's kind of like preparing a team to go to the Super Bowl and you never practice or you never play a game. That wouldn't be very good, he said. You want to work together so you're a well-organized, well-knit, close-cut team. And that's what we need. So what we're seeing is a calculation by the US to stay ready alongside South Korea without provoking the North too much. It's hoped that will enable two other interlinked goals: to revive US-North Korea dialogue and reduce costs due to President Donald Trump's repeated complaints about spending in Korea. Remember, it was Trump who unilaterally announced the suspension of joint military drills in June, after meeting the North's chairman Kim Jong-un for the first time. But since then, dialogue has stalled and military interests seem to be holding a bit more sway. What does that look like for now then? General Brown explained to Defense News that they're still doing lower-level exercises, meaning battalion and below, on the peninsula. But they're doing higher-level exercises off the peninsula. That means drills in places like Hawaii, Alaska, and Washington State. They can also use computer technology to enhance their preparedness. And how is this likely to play out with North Korea? Well, it's better from Pyongyang's perspective than full-scale war games on their doorstep, but a scaled-down Fall Eagle is still more than the suspension of exercises we've seen this year. It's also not taking us close to the North's priorities of formally ending the Korean War and lifting sanctions. Washington's calculation might be seen as a very slim concession, seeing as it fits Trump's cost-cutting agenda anyway. It's worth paying close attention to how this situation develops, though. If we see the return of full-scale joint drills in the coming months or years, it will indicate that the Allies have lost faith in dialogue with Pyongyang. At least for now, we can say the current situation informs us that hope prevails.